Good evening and welcome into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So, what does Nancy Pelosi and Gary Pilnick have in common? We'll see what shakes loose. All right. Good evening. Hope you guys are doing well out there. It is March 3rd, 2024, and I just have a quick little stream for you. So, I opened up today with what does Nancy Pelosi and Gary Pilnick have in common? Well, the CEO, Gary Pilnick. So both of them, maybe they're of the, I'd say for one, we could say that they probably share a class. They share the same class in elitism, and they both seem to, recommend that Americans go for the sweets. When you're in dire straits or whenever inflation hits your wallet, go for the sweets, or let them eat cake. In other words. So let's check our status first, please. All right. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate it. So, yes, without further ado, I want to get into just a couple of liners. I want to say hello to John Roberts and Proverb Nation. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, just looking at solutions. In the past, I make the reference to Nancy Pelosi because in the past, back in 2020 in the April, like just maybe a month or so after the demic hit, Nancy decided she'd just go in and show off her little double sub-zero refrigerators at the particular time. Meanwhile, there are people all over the country, especially in the state of California, that were, they had either been, not been able to go into work or have been out of work due to certain things that have been closed, the availability of food pantry demands were up. And it's not that much different right now. So I say this all the time, there's nothing new under the sun. It's Ecclesiastes. It's not mine. Those aren't my words, but it seems we're on a seasoning and cycling of, demands for, us plebes or us, we're just not, we're not stocking 20 flavors of Jenny's ice cream or whomever, we're just not, that's not the average American refrigerator. What were they dropping? Stimulus checks here and there. People were out of work or people were suffering at the times. But she goes on this talk show and starts yapping about it. And, she lives a different lifestyle. So I don't know when they say, oh, these politicians, they're out of touch. Of course they are. They've become career politicians, they have career salaries, but very little service. They're not public servants. They're, it's like I said, this makes me think of Rome. We get the crumbs and they tell us to eat cake. Let them eat cake. All right, so let's just have a look at a liner first, and then I'll go. Let's start off with a little commercial here, shall we? This is actually a bit of an older commercial, but it seems things that just keep seasoning and cycling. This commercial was released was in August of 2022. So let's just go ahead and show it. Let's just set the tone with, the likes of the Kellogg's and those of that ilk. Let's just start there. How about it? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn.
When I say cereal, you say dinner. Cereal.
Dinner!
Cereal.
Dinner!
Chicken!
You can have the night off, chicken.
Oh, okay, I'll go marinate.
Cereal.
Dinner!
Cereal.
Dinner!
Okay, so as spirited as that was, they've got these narratives that to me it's just predictive programming. Now, you would never believe that was a commercial that was aired in 2022. Chicken and those two things have been there's been trends going on. Trends with chicken being, of course, lab-grown chicken, lab-grown meat, synthetic meats. And now you've got the CEOs promoting, oh, come over to our industry and have some empty calorie, tons of things you can't even pronounce cereal for dinner. So let's go to a liner really quickly. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys for burning some time here with me on this Sunday. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go right on over. We're going to go to a Yahoo Finance. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you, as per usual, there are two narratives out there about the state, of course, of the economy. We've had Janet Yellen. Oh, it's going to be a soft eggshell landing for you. You see how this is panning out? What does your wallet say? The cost of this is easing, and the Karine Jean-Pierre's, it's just, I don't know. You got to see it, believe they want you to believe what you're told rather than what's actually going on. So let's have a look really quickly. So according to this, inflation, cost of eating out continues to rise, a potential hit to restaurant chains. Now, I've talked to you guys before about how Flippy is going to transform fast food, but of course, because California in April, they are going to a $20 an hour wage. This is for the fast food, not the traditional restaurant settings, not those restaurants. But I would imagine it's going to sway some of those people that are in the restaurant, full service restaurants to go over to the fast food chains. But it's also going to cause a ripple in what the owners can afford to do. The benefits, they're going to have to cut back on time off and those kinds of days and vacations and all other perks that they were offering before for this rate. And of course, they're bringing in machinery. Flippy Express is another restaurant out of California that's opened up. And basically, they'll say, oh, humans still have a job. Yeah, you can be a salt shaker. Sprinkle the salt on the fries. So maybe we'll get to that. But in the meantime, let's have a look here. Looky. All right, looks like a senior reporter, whether she's penned, this is a pen name or pseudonym, Brooke DePalma, says more Americans will be thinking twice before they say yes to a fancy dinner out on the town. The cost of dining out in January was up 5.1% year over year and up 0.5% compared to the previous month, according to the latest inflation data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. On the other hand, the cost of groceries moderated with a 1.2% increase compared to last year and a 0.4% increase compared to December. Historically, when commodity inflation runs ahead of labor inflation, grocery prices pushes ahead of restaurants, in quote, city analyst John Tower wrote in a client note. Quote, when labor inflation runs ahead of commodity inflation, restaurant prices tend to outpace grocery pricing. Labor is a key pressure point this year as 22 states raised their minimum wage on January 1st. And Oregon, Nevada, and Florida are set to increase theirs later this year. And of course, our bookend in California faces a looming wage jump as a result of new fast food industry law. Beginning in April, food chains that have at least 60 locations nationwide will be required to raise their minimum wage for restaurant employees to $20 per hour. Okay, so they'll give you a little bit of a breakdown here. I'm gonna make sure you guys can see this full scale. Shout out to John Roberts with that $20,000 refrigerator. All right, so look at it. They give you a little bit of graph here. The cost of food at restaurants, bars outpaces the cost of groceries. The growth in cost to dine out is outpacing the cost to cook at home, of course. Okay, so you can see they're going all the way from 2019. As you can see how you can see the trends. It started in 19. Okay, we'll keep going. As the bill rises, some customers will likely pull back on restaurant visits in favor of cooking at home. You're going to see a greater pivot at the lower income level, end quote, Tower told Yahoo Finance over the phone. This is already putting pressure on brands like McDonald's, MCD. In its third quarter earnings call last week, CEO Chris Kempczynski called it a, quote, battleground, end quote, to get the attention of the low-income consumer. Quote, there's some transaction size reduction, end quote, and, quote, some trade down, end quote, among the demographic, he said. Others with higher exposure to low-income consumers include Wendy's, Domino's, and Taco Bell, per Citi's analysis. Chili's parent company, Brinker International, Eat, has also been trying to adjust to changing consumer sentiments. Quote, we're seeing improvised responsiveness to TV ads that showcase really sharp value, end quote, CEO Kevin Hochman said in a call with investors. But consumers who come in for deals aren't, quote, buying as much alcohol or desserts, end quote. He said the company is planning to use promotions like $6 margaritas to boost traffic. More discounts could be coming if foot traffic broadly, quote, does not improve from this point forward, end quote. Companies will have to offer better deals, said Tower, or lean into categories that may not be as inflationary, like fries or chicken over beef. While Starbucks tends to skew toward a higher income demographic, some of its consumer base is changing their spending habits as well. The coffee chain's U.S. foot traffic was up a mere 1% in its latest quarter, while the check size went up 4%. Okay, so let's see, we keep going here. Both numbers were under analyst estimates, partially because the, quote, occasional, end quote, customer visited less. Starbucks drinkers are, quote, managing their checks, managing their frequency, or doing a combination of both, said Tower. But consumer staple companies that supply grocery stores, restaurants, and bars could be well positioned in 2024. Pepsi CEO Raymond Luis LaGuardia said on an investor call that the company is, quote, putting a lot of focus on the food away from home channel as people continue to go back to normal socializing patterns. The company is expecting to gain market share within the restaurant industry, per LaGuardia. How much people continue to go out will be the issue to watch for food companies that have large, quote, away from home, end quote, businesses, Bank of America analyst Brian Spillane told Yahoo Finance Live. But moderating inflation likely won't result in lower prices in grocery aisles, said Spillane. Rather, consumer staple companies will hold the higher prices and reinvest the profit behind their brands. So, we've been talking about this for a while. In fact, I'm already hearing about $18 Big Macs, I'm hearing about that. But what can you do? I don't know. They're not, honestly, I don't really see that lasting very long. We're going to go to Cali's Zippy Express. But before we do that, I wanted you guys to be able to hear from the CEO, Gary Pilnick, as he has a suggestion for you. He has a suggestion for you. John Roberts says, I dine out about 6 times per year. Well, see, there you go. You're very well disciplined. Honestly, the quality of what you're getting, from what I understand, you're seeing shrinkflation. You're seeing the same hamburger that you've gotten that you thought you got from last year. It's actually a smaller burger. And to me, I understand that to be shrinkflation. You've got that same Wendy's single. Dave single is actually a smaller burger, but for the same price. So, you do the math. You do the shrimp. No, you do the math. And let's come back really quickly here. Let's have a look. I want you to hear from Gary Pilnick of the WK Kellogg Chair and CEO. Let's go for it, shall we? Here we go.
Category has always been quite affordable, and the cereal category has always been quite affordable, and it tends to be a great destination when consumers are under pressure. So some of the things that we're doing is first messaging. We got to reach the consumer where they are. So we're advertising about cereal for dinner. If you think about the cost of cereal for a family versus what they might otherwise do, that's going to be much more affordable. The other places that we like to go is we talk about making sure we have the right pack at the right price in the right place. So having a different size pack that'll have a different price point, that'll take some pressure off the consumer while they're shopping. So those are some of the things that we're doing. But in general, the cereal category is a place that a lot of folks might come to because the price of a bowl of cereal with milk and with fruit is less than $1. So you can imagine why a consumer under pressure might find that to be a good place to go.
Right. I'm all for innovation and marketing, but the idea of having cereal for dinner, is there the potential for that to land the wrong way?
We don't think so. In fact, it's landing really well right now, Carl. When we look at all of our data, of course, we would know that breakfast cereal is the #1 choice for in-home consumption. We understand that for breakfast. It turns out that over 25% of our consumption is outside the breakfast occasion. A lot of it's at dinner, and that occasion continues to grow, as well as the snacking occasion. But cereal for dinner is something that is probably more on trend now, and we would expect to continue as that consumer is under pressure.
Okay, so you see that? You see how nice of a trend? You see how nice of a trend, it is. I don't think so. He might say that, but some kids, people that I've seen, they probably eat cereal might be more of a snack. It's not. To me, it's less of a breakfast item. It's as well, But yeah, so hang on one second. I want to show you this. Let's go over to Flippy. So I'm just saying that the quality of what you're getting is also the service is not there. The quality of the meal is not there. Whether you go to fast food or even a restaurant, it's just not, the quality of what you're getting is not there. It's just not. Okay, so let's just go. And then the taste is very I'm not, it's not what it's not, it's getting a little far from the fountain, so to speak. All right, so let's go over to the California's Flippy Express. Let's have it here. So this is allegedly the world's first fully autonomous restaurant. It opens in California, and this is one of the places that I've been referencing. So let's have a watch here.
A new era of dining is about to begin with the launch of Cali Express by Flippy, the world's first fully autonomous restaurant powered by artificial intelligence. This innovative venture is the result of a collaboration between Miso Robotics, a leader in AI-powered cooking robots, Cali Group, and Pop ID, pioneers in digital ordering and payment systems. At Cali Express by Flippy, customers will enjoy delicious meals prepared by Miso's robotic cooks, who can handle all cooking tasks quickly and precisely. The restaurant is conveniently located in a prime retail location in Pasadena, California, on the northwest corner of Green Street and Madison Avenue at 561 East Green Street. Utilizing the most advanced food technology systems, grill and fry stations are fully automated and powered by cutting-edge AI and robotics. Guests can also use their Pop ID accounts to access personalized recommendations, make easy and fast payments, and get loyalty rewards on self-ordering kiosks. Cali Express by Flippy offers a very simple menu featuring freshly crafted burgers made from a premium Wagyu blend at price points competitive with other premium burgers using standard meat. A grill robot grinds the high-quality beef in real time after the order is placed, resulting in a burger patty that melts in the mouth. And that's not all. Their robotic fry station, Flippy, ensures that the accompanying French fries are crispy and hot, made from top-grade potatoes that are always cooked to exact times. The menu is very simple, comprising burgers, cheeseburgers, and French fries. One of the key advantages of this fully automated restaurant is it not only improves the quality and consistency of the food but also enhances the safety and efficiency of the workplace. Flippy's advanced technology reduces the risks of slippage, burns, and food and oil waste, creating a more hygienic and productive environment. Moreover, the Cali Express by Flippy Kitchen can be efficiently managed by a smaller crew in a less stressful environment than competing restaurants, while also providing above-average wages. At the Cali Express by Flippy location, visitors can enjoy delicious food and a pseudo-museum experience. The restaurant features dancing robot arms from retired Flippy units, experimental 3D printed artifacts from past development, photographic displays, and much more. It is designed not only to serve delicious food but also to inspire the next generation of kitchen AI and automation entrepreneurs. The restaurant welcomes schools and educational groups to book tours and learn more. Cali Express by Flippy Autonomous Restaurant is set to open this month, initially by reservation only, with a grand opening to follow.
Okay. So there you can see, you get an eye, you can see the arms of the cooks, the fry cook and the arm of the patty flippers is the same. It's one of the same. So, they say, oh, it's not going to take. I've seen narratives out there to say, oh, this is not going to replace human beings. But then I've also seen this same company say, oh yeah, human beings will be able to work there. You can shake shake the salt on the fries. So, but do you think they're going to pay somebody that merely shakes salt on fries $20 an hour? I'm just thinking at some point, you can't, it's going to kind of outpace, it's really going to eliminate a demographic of workers. Like if this becomes a situation where people are competing for $20 an hour, it's certainly going to outpace. You might get a waitress coming over from the Waffle House that says, hey, she's going to work at McDonald's or she's going to work at one of these restaurants that are paying the fast food. She's coming out of that dine-in full service restaurant to go to the fast food. And it's going to, I would think that some of these companies are going to it's going to put the 16-year-old or the person that's trying to get that first job in their lifetime, it's going to put their work industry is going to be diminished because the people with more experience from other restaurants are going to come over. And then they're just going to, they may want people with more experience, a more mature crew working in fast food. I think it's going to reduce that demographic of workers in the workforce. So, it's just human beings we're just walking into a trap. Because of course they're not going to have to pay. It's going to cut costs. The overhead is going to be tremendously reduced. You won't be paying for lunch breaks. You won't be paying. You won't have that insurance. You won't need the same type of coverage or protections for your restaurant. Your liabilities are going to be reduced because you're dealing with machines. You're not going to worry about whether you're starting on time in many cases because those machines, what are you going to do? Charge them up overnight and then they're just ready to go, short of them having any type of technical difficulties or malfunctioning issues, they're going to be ready to go. John Roberts. But then here's the problem. What do you do once Flippy decides, hey, I'm not doing this job? What do you do once AI becomes self-aware that you are paying them the peasant peanuts? What are you going to do? Ezra, correct, John Roberts. He says robots don't take maternity leave. No, they don't. They don't take smoke breaks. They don't take bathroom breaks. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. And I cannot see these restaurants hiring people to pay $20. They're not going to pay $20 an hour for somebody to shake salt on fries. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have a crew of, You're not going to have people working. I would imagine that the hours are going to be reduced. I think fast food in this case would probably go, at best, it would go down to a part-time at that, but that's still pretty steep. Part-time. John Robert says, I'll unplug it. Oh my gosh. But you have to say that but you see how many of these commercials are very much made by, they've got the WF designers on all of this. They're the producers of most commercials right now, I swear, are being created by, I swear they're being created by the WEF. It's all that is similar. Okay, so I may have one other video. Let's see. So I imagine they're going to start making pizzas and all kinds of things. So let's go for it. Let's see, news. We have some of the CBS News of Bay Area. Hang tight really quickly. We're going to go through this one, and then we're going to probably call it. If you guys have got any flippy restaurants in your area, let us know. Get some footage. Excuse me. Let's have a look here. We're going to go to the Bay Area.
Have arrived, at least in Southern California. That's where the world's first ever fully autonomous AI-powered restaurant has opened, complete with burger flipping bots. We sent out Joy Benedict on a taste test.
Flippy the chef makes Spud spectacular. This automated grill gives the meat its sizzle as this restaurant goes robotic.
For this burger, it would take about 120 seconds.
Cali Express by Flippy is the world's first AI-powered eatery. There's new technology outside the kitchen, too.
A cheeseburger.
Order kiosks use facial recognition to remember you, your favorite food, and how you like to pay. Then watch the robots work. No humans required.
We can't get enough people to come out to work on fryers and grills. They're dangerous jobs. And this automation helps solve a lot of those issues.
Hello, I have someone.
62% of restaurants report being understaffed. Industry experts say most of those unfilled jobs could be done by robots. And in California, where the minimum wage for most fast food workers will soon be $20 an hour, fewer workers equals cost savings. Dan Ives is with Wedbush Securities, a wealth management firm.
Once the minimum wage went to 20, that's the bell going off. More and more focus on spending on AI. Because look, that's inflationary. That's the problem. You can't necessarily pass all that to the consumer.
Flippy can cook 250 pounds of French fries an hour. The burger bot, 100 patties.
These restaurants are very, very busy at peak times, and every second that gets added to somebody waiting in the drive-thru is a lost revenue opportunity for that restaurant.
Is it costing people their jobs?
That's not what we've seen. It's really here to help people.
Humans at Cali Express will put the finishing touches on orders. For customers, the price of the meals are competitive. As for taste,
is it going to affect the quality and the taste?
I would say yes, in a good way, because now each burger is being cooked precisely the same way every time.
Time will tell whether AI takes over kitchens everywhere. That will be up to the public to chew on.
Oh, good.
All right, so you can see this is what's, they're giving you all. It's always this is what Schwab talked about in his fourth industrial revolution, that it's the job of NGOs, governments to convince people that all of this, that AI and even the merging of man with machine is all about the convenience. It doesn't matter if it's disruptive. Okay, it doesn't matter if they're problem solutions, all that stuff, problem reaction solution. If it disrupts your life, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the losses are in that disruption. It's supposed to be for your convenience. Okay. So of course, it's always, it's people if you have to fry and cook and carry on like that at home, but does that mean you're not going to do it? It has to be done. The manual, there's always going to be a manual component. It's going to either be shared or it's going to fall on somebody, because we have to do things by hand. But to outpace man with machines is definitely going to cost more than a burger. And with that, I'll leave you with this. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, Proverb Nation, and as well as John Roberts. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you guys so much. So next time you're out and about and you're trying to figure out, what am I going to eat? I don't know what I'm going to eat, what I want to have. We'll see. We'll figure out what you will consider. We'll see if you could. We'll see if you will consider some of these alternatives, or you can always. Let's see. Or will you be screaming? Let's see. Hang on a second. Sorry about this, guys. Or will you be screaming?
When I say cereal, you say dinner. Cereal.
Dinner!
Cereal.
Dinner! Chicken!
You can have the night off, chicken.
Okay, I'll go marinate.
Cereal.
Dinner!
All right, guys, I want to thank you so much once again for tuning in. And I want to say thanks to a couple of friends and, of course, sponsors. And yes, I am I am working on the consistency of this show still working on that. And yeah, so let's give a couple of thanks, shout outs, and then we'll get going here. This program is brought to you in part by our sponsors and our viewers like you. AZ Infidel, Derek C. Williams, Melinda, Marcy T, TDOA, Freedom's March, Independent Menu United, Joseph Francis Burton, Luciano, Zero the Infinite, Uncool Paranoia, and Anarchy Television. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much and have a great start to your week, and we'll see what comes up later in the week. Thank you so much again.